out, and it's what's the black guy's name?
Jacob.
Yeah, and
No,
he grabs
Caleb.
Dustin's shoulder.
Caleb. Sorry.
He
Yeah,
grabs Dustin's shoulders, and they like set it up, obviously. But he grabs his shoulders, and he's like, and then he like makes a crunching sound, and he's like, oh. It's like, oh my god! If you didn't know he had that, it would be like,
Why would you do that?
Is this kid the predator? He has predator strength. Why is he doing that? He's just destroying children everywhere. Oh my gosh! Welcome back to another episode of Nostalgia Land. Some good news on the pipeline. Trey has finally started watching Stranger Things, and we are so happy.
2 seasons
and
in, baby.
For him, I'm giving a cheer. Does this work? Yes. Yeah, baby. There it is. So,
welcome to the club, son. Welcome to the club.
That's a really long cheer. Oh no, that was yours. Okay,
Yeah.
I forget. Oh, he's got buttons too. Like he can keep messing with shit on his side as well.
Beep, 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 beep.
Just Tyler's side is like, can someone let me out of the cage? Quiet.
Shut up. It puts the lotion on the skin.
Or else it's the hose again.
Hose again.
This episode will drop on Friday the 13th. We should have done a.
Oh, we could have done like a Halloween or something,
horror
right?
movie.
Oh, next Friday the 13th.
Could have done an episode themed around horror.
Trey, so there's a March Friday the 13th. Maybe we can plan for that, so we'll do it then.
Right.
Trey, so watching season 2 with Sean Astin and stuff. I mean, are you justice for
still not over
for Bob?
That wound's still fresh. So, spoiler alert we're not going to say exactly what happens to him, but like that wound is fresh, and stop rubbing salt in it, please.
It is crazy to go back and think like after the first season aired and the Justice for Barb movement that was going on. And that kind of disappeared. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of wrapped it up in the second season, but not really.
Yeah,
the guy who looks like Paul Giamatti,
brushed over that,
but he's not Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti.
Paul Reiser.
Yeah, he looks like Paul Giamatti.
Oh yes, yeah, Paul Reiser. Yeah,
he's awesome in the show too.
No, but I was saying
I thought he was so good.
My least favorite.
Oh, you're talking about the Russian guy, the
conspiracy theorist.
Conspiracy theory guy. Murray.
Yeah.
Murray. Yes. So freaking good. Sorry, what were you saying, Trey?
I was saying that, it has my least favorite episode, and it's not because like the acting is bad or the character, but it just comes out of left field. Like 11 has to go find 8, and it's like, what? Why is 11 looking for 8?
Yeah. There's the whole thing with her meeting her mom.
Right. I mean, Mama. She turns into Forrest Gump for a minute. I want to meet Mama.
Yeah. But it's very the episode, as out of place as it feels, is very important to the show overall.
Yeah, because
it gives her a backstory. It gives her like stuff to tap into.
No, it gives her she has her Charles Xavier, Eric Lensher moment where she figures out how it's happened to her powers.
Exactly.
You're gonna need that episode much later on. It does feel like, honestly, after you watch get to the end of the show, the actual series, you're like, what the hell was that even for? And then you kind of start getting, you're like, oh, okay. I guess they like halfway through the last season remembered that they had done that episode, and and they were like, oh yeah, she's still out there. She's still part of it.
That's what I'm saying. The show overall is wonderful.
Yes.
So good. The first 4 seasons, you can watch them over and over again. The 5th season is the weakest of all of them.
Yeah, I'm trying really hard to avoid like major spoilers, like of who dies and who doesn't die.
It's not horrible. It's fine, but we'll talk when you're done.
Yeah.
We'll talk when you're done.
Maybe we need to do some special episodes about that.
It's that's nostalgic now, right? It's 10 years ago.
It is 10 years ago. It is nostalgic on multiple levels, because it's also like, honestly, around season 3. Yeah, and like season 3 is when I started noticing like, oh, holy crap, there's like stuff that I remember that we had and I saw in your house, or I saw growing up like in other people's houses, like that because I don't think like the 80s aesthetic really like died out until like I want to say like 95, 96. That like it really like people start really changing their houses and changing the appliances and changing like the way things looked and stuff, and got rid of toys and memorabilia. So I felt like around 95, 96 that happens. But,
started working at an auto parts factory and
yeah, saving a town in Sandusky, Ohio.
Matt, turn yourself down a little bit.
Oh shoot, okay. Sorry,
but and then I was telling them that one of my favorite moments of season 2, and if you haven't seen it, spoilers, skip ahead like a minute and a half.
If you're still watching us, worried about spoilers, stop watching us. Because, I mean, that's what we do.
That's all we have.
We enjoy that you're here. Just spoiler alert.
We live in spoiler land.
Yeah,
it's our whole thing.
Where 11 comes back and she meets everybody, and everybody's so excited to see her. And Dustin's like, "Hey, Elle, how are you?" And she just looks at Dustin, and she doesn't say like, "Oh, you have new teeth." She just goes, "Teeth," and tries to touch his teeth. And he's like, "Oh, you mean these chompers?"
Yeah. Every time he does that through the whole season, it makes me laugh.
Well, I saw an interview where apparently during the first season, he just kept singing, "Oh my God," because Vine was like huge. And that was the Vine where the kid's like, "Look," and his brother turns and goes, "Oh my God." So he kept doing it. And then the second season, they said on set, he just kept walking up behind people and going, like, "Stop, man."
Brilliant to incorporate it into the show.
Yeah. The second season part that I really like, it touched a nerve, was when they all are so excited for Halloween and they dress up and they get to school and no one else is dressed up.
Dude, that
happened to me and it fucking sucked, dude.
It's like in middle school when like you still wanted to dress up, but you're like, none of my friends are doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to look like an a-hole.
Yeah, why is it so idiotic? We all should have kept dressed. And now they are. Now there's like when we did the trick-or-treating here in this neighborhood, there is 20 something like an 18-year-old kid, and they're all still dressing up. Nope. Don't talk about prostitutes and the whores.
Ixnay on the Orbe.
The town shuts down and it's all good. That's when the whores come out. I like her idea. Great reference. That's from tonight. That's from tonight's movie.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that sounds really
shaking their little booties for the men folk.
Yeah. I saw 2 prostitutes during the war, and she hasn't let me forget it since.
Never let
or I visited one prostitute.
That's like it's like the older couple, right? That's doing that. Yeah.
It's the older couple in the boardroom. So welcome back. Thank you for joining us today. We're doing a classic Tommy Boy,
hey,
1993.
Let's give it a second go, boys.
Yeah, son. We originally tried to record this and something happened and lost the recording, and it was a waste of
it had to do with
3 hours
after our long hiatus during our personal struggles. we tried to come back strong with one of the greatest comedies of all time, and
when
the universe was like,
we were all the way in the upside down.
Yes, we're all stuck in the upside down in our own world. Before we get started, let's hear that bump real quick. Yeah. Wait, so season 2 doesn't have the never ending story in it. Season 3 does.
No, it's the third one.
It's season 3.
So we can't talk about third season.
I'm looking forward to that because I've seen that.
Moving on. Okay.
Yeah.
So before we get started, I had an idea, and we can try this. If it works, it'll be great. If it doesn't work, it's going to be awful. I'm going to share my screen here. Can you guys see this?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We have the click to spin it.
Crack City, I'm the mayor.
Okay. My idea tonight was we spin the wheel of morality or wheel of destiny. Whoever name it lands on, or these other 2 options, has to play like they hate this movie. Or there's also option we all love it, like our normal movie, like our normal service, or we all
That
hate
is not
it.
true. Have you seen the Airbud episode?
Yeah.
I get torched for my take on the Airbud episode.
Well, this could have been useful then. This could have been useful then. This could have been, we could have done it during Airbud and forced Tyler to have to pretend that he loved it.
Nah, man, you got to go with that genuine feeling, that true feeling.
You're absolutely right. Okay, well, I'll play it out tonight, and you know what? If anything, I'll say it's me. But I thought it was going to be fun. Let's see if it goes. I don't know if you guys can hear that sound.
That's hilarious.
Oh, perfect. Because now imagine if this was a Muppet film. How absolutely pissed I would be right now. Well, let's talk about this dumbass movie that nobody likes or remembers. Tommy Boy with the horrible Chris Farley that I think, deserves less credit for what he does.
That man's a national treasure.
Well, tell me about it. Why does he deserve my love and his justice?
Chris Farley's like lightning in a bottle when he's on stage. Like like when he first did things like SNL and he was doing like Matt Foley and those type of things, it was just nobody does physical comedy better than Farley. Like just like throwing himself through tables and like destroying a hotel room in this movie, or where he's trying to pitch to the guy and he's like, truck tire, ambulance. Here comes the beat wagon. Wee woo wee woo. Like
I had to go back and remember what you're talking
about.
It's
all the physical comedy. It's like chaos, but then he can kind of hone it in, and the way he would do it is he can kind of hone it in.
And he's like a mix of John Belushi and John Candy.
Yeah.
He's got hints of both, and I know that he was obsessed with John Belushi, and they had to do a lot of stuff. He had to change up a lot of things because it was too Belushi-esque. That they had to reshoot scenes because he would put on facial expressions that was too Belushi in Animal House and stuff like that, because he was such an idol of his. And I think lightning in a bottle is a good way to put it, or a lot of cocaine in a person.
Well, yeah,
is another way to put it. Although he was sober during this movie. It was a sober shoot for him.
It felt sober.
The background of this movie, the outside the shooting story is horrible for them. Flying back and forth between Toronto and New York, doing SNL every week, and then flying back to Toronto to shoot. And they were done with this movie in like some crazy amount of time for a comedy during this time. It was, and all the effects were practical. There was nothing CG'd, while comedies of the day had already started incorporating CG and stuff like that. But it was brutal on Spade and Farley.
Because if you're going to put a deer on the road and hit it, I want to see that deer on the road and actually hit it. Like,
well, it took them 6 weeks, and one of the GTX cars that David Spade drives, they had to give it to the deer people and put it out in a field, and then put food on it to get the deers comfortable with climbing up onto the car and eating and pooping all over the car and inside the car and everything. And before they could move in a camera crew and get the shot of the deer standing on the car, looking at the camera, and then running off after the whole deer scene.
See, that's what I gotta say I hate about this movie. There's so few iconic moments that just visually speak to you. Like, for one of them, one of the worst ones, I think, is the way that they do the intro transition. Like, what brilliant genius had the bright idea that it's young Tommy coming out of his treehouse. It's his mom calling to him, which is off screen, which is, it's okay because I guess she's dead later. But just to get iteration, because it looks really sweet, and then you get this horrible moment of comedy where the little boy slams into the glass door of his kitchen or the back of his house, and he goes, "Oh, son of a!" And then you're just like, "Oh, okay, this is our character. This is who Tommy Boy is." And I love the transition that they did with the smoke of the bus that he's chasing after, where we first see Richard. Who is just a horrible character in my opinion. That
Shut up, Richard.
So sarcastic, and his lines are so flat all the time.
It's really funny because I feel like Farley isn't Farley without Spade. Like, it's kind of like in those early Happy Madison movies where, like, Adam is definitely the draw. Like, you go to see Adam Sandler, but he's not as funny without like Schneider helping him, or
that's true.
He has his like gang of people. And I think it's because Spade and Farley were so close offset and Farley just messed with David Spade constantly. Like he tortured.
I would totally agree. They were close, like brothers are close. From everything that all the interviews I've seen, all the stuff that I read, the relationship that you see on screen is Chris Farley and David Spade off screen, and they were our generation's buddy comedy guys. Like I can't think of a better duo during the 90s, early 2000s. There are other funny duos, but a better one, I don't know. Even Black Sheep, that gets a lot of grief for basically being Tommy Boy all over again, is a really funny movie. If Tommy Boy doesn't exist, Black Sheep's hilarious to everybody.
I think if you're going to be upset about that, you're going to be upset about, like, why are we making another family vacation movie? Like, like that doesn't make any sense for people to be like, oh, it's the same movie as Tommy Boy. It's like, yeah, because it works. And like, just sit down, funny. eat your popcorn, enjoy what's happening. Because we're going to get an hour
when we cover Black Sheep, we'll cover how Black Sheep cost us Chris Farley.
I think in the modern day, they're not as iconic as them, but like Key and Peele are kind of like this. Like they play,
but they haven't done like movies together.
Yeah, but they do all that. But I'm talking just from a sketch standpoint, like on.
Oh yeah, I mean they're hysterical.
Like where they
they're
do
so
the whole
good.
like the East West Bowl thing. Where
I mean, there's so many skits that I had never seen that guys at work bring up, and they'll pull up on their phones, and I'm blown away by like there's just so many. The depth to them it's so funny. Like this is such a good show. Their creativity is. It's like it's not as good as Chappelle because I mean the Chappelle show is the king of the sketch comedy, but they're close. They're real close.
But Chappelle doesn't have his well, he has his crew, he has his people, but
he doesn't have his buddy. Like he doesn't have his other guy.
Yeah.
Would you guys?
I just meant sketch comedy shows.
Would you guys say like Channing Tatum and
Jonah Hill?
Excuse me, Jonah Hill were kind of
in 21 Jump Street. Yeah, that works.
I think
they were really funny together.
Jump Street helps cement that. I think if it was just the one movie, it wouldn't hit as hard.
Yeah, that's a
they're
good point.
So funny,
but they're good. Yeah. And then even in like for example, like the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, like the way Batista and Chris Pratt play off each other, where like he plays like the super serious Drax, and then Pratt kind of takes because Star-Lord in the comics he's a goofy guy, but he's not kind of. Chris Pratt kind of made it his own thing, like where he does like the.
Thank God. I'm sorry, I didn't know how the
machine worked. Yeah,
so good.
And then, but like the thing about it is like, I know we were trying to like think of like, oh, do you not like this movie? But like, does it work? I don't think you could make this movie with anybody but Farley. I don't think it works without Farley.
Because certainly not casting Jim Belushi in this.
Because you need like the. I mean, and I don't mean to talk bad about Chris Farley, but you need kind of like the bigger guy, like the bigger stature guy to play off of Spade. Because Spade is like, he's like as big, no offense to Dave Spade, if you're watching, I love you, but he's like a child. He looks, compared to Chris Farley, he looks like a child.
And Chris Farley brings the bull in a china shop energy to everything. And then at the same time can like hit that switch off and become this John Candy, this heartwarming person that you just feel so deeply for in these moments where he needs to draw your emotion out. You care about what's happening to Tommy Boy because he plays it where he's really stupid, but he's not stupid. It's like an innocence, a naivete almost to his character where he's not like jaded by the world. He sees the good in most things.
It's like
it's just the delivery is what brings it out, and
like the heart really beneath the stupidity or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, it takes his dad dying for him to really like become, I think, a mature person. I think that's what this character, was really struggling with. Was I think the way he talked about coming home from college, and he's like, 7 years is 7 years, and then what's the old high school gang?
That's a great line.
Where he's like, a lot of people go to college for 7 years. They're called doctors.
Called doctors.
And he just said, I love his expression there, but I also hate how dumb his face is. No, but when his character like that, he's constantly like, how's this old thing? Oh, that factory's that, and then, he's pointing at this. He's like, oh, this is gone, and this is gone. Like there's in his mind, there's this, everything should just continue, and everything should always be the way it is. And it's the wake up call of like, oh, your dad is gone. Like he passes away.
Yeah, it's
on his
at
wedding
their
day.
wedding.
Yeah, and Farley's character Tommy suddenly has a realizing like, oh, this is definite change. Nothing is going to be the same after this, and that's where we have this horribly beautiful moment where he's walking down this tree laden pathway road, and it's in the fall, and he's just contemplating everything, in that his dad is gone, but what still stands is now this company, and now he's given this burden. And he kind of has like, I think that real like, oh shit moment of like, oh, daddy's not here anymore to care about or to take care of this in the way that he always did. And he was doing it up until he died. Like even at the wedding, he's making deals, and he's like, telling people like, well, I can get a good look at a T-bone steak by shoving my head up a bull's ass, but I'd rather take the butcher's word for it. And I think it was a really great line. He was like, well, how can you give me any guarantee? And he's like, dude, a guarantee is only as good as the man who writes them. And I was in. This is Tommy Boy. I hate that Tommy Boy.
In a box and mark it guaranteed, I'll do it. I've got spare time.
I got spare time. I can do it. Yeah, like I hate that Tommy Boy drops some of the hardest truths and some of the best business sales that you've ever heard. But it's really freaking brilliant that it worked out that way, and it's disgusting.
Yeah, like like being Richard in this movie is like being trapped in a nightmare. Like you're like, oh, this this lovable idiot that I have to train because my boss is making me. And now my boss dies, and this idiot is my boss. Like, and if I don't help him, I'm not gonna have a job. Because
I love the idea that you just brought. I love the idea you just brought up that this is Richard's nightmare. Tommy Boy is just Richard's nightmare, dude. That's
it's a horror movie from his perspective.
Yeah.
Yes, everything has gone wrong.
Like for probably about
on him.
Like 80% of this movie, he's just looking like he's contemplating every life choice he's made up to this moment. Like, oh my god, I'm in a car going across the country with a moron. Like, what am I doing?
So I'm retitling this movie "Richard's Nightmare" because that's freaking brilliant. I just love that, man.
The banter between them is so good, though. From the moment they come together at the airport, and
he gets off the plane.
And he's saying like, I thought my dad was going to come get me. Yeah, he did. When he was here 2 hours ago when you were supposed to land. And I tried calling. Oh yeah, what number did you dial? 279er. What was that? You're trailing off. And did I catch a niner in there? A you calling from a walkie-talkie?
It was cordless.
Yeah, and then after they have the whole, a doctor. A lot of people go to college for 7 years. They're called doctors. The guys are putting the luggage out of and just a trash bag with duct tape, red duct tape hits, and he's like, "Oh, this has to be you," and he grabs it, like, yeah, like so awesome, so fitting.
It's like you spray that thing for bugs. He's like, sure. It's
Richard.
That head jerk of
man, you still have your old car from high school. Yeah, you hang on to things that are cherry, kind of like your suitcase. Yeah, kind of
like your suitcase.
Like, man, this movie does question of like in the 90s, like we just let anything fly. I can't imagine them being like, okay, if I brought a duct taped trash bag to the airport, and be like, yeah, it's fine. Just, send it through.
Put on the plane.
No, strip search immediately on lane 4.
This was back when you could go all the way to the gate and hug your loved ones goodbye before they got went through the door onto the plane.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm a limo
driver. It's just
driver.
ethereal now. Yeah, it's just go onto the magic air vessel, and we'll hopefully see you soon or whenever you land. At some point, whenever you get off of that thing.
Yeah. So the plot of this movie is actually pretty simple. Like Tommy barely graduates college, skin of his teeth, goes back to work for
after
dad.
7 years.
Yeah.
Dad marries conniving woman who wants to take his company with her son husband, or
Bo Derek.
And then it ends up that he dies, and then so instead of her being like the like in the will and getting all the stuff, it all goes to Tommy because and so then they're trying to basically sell to Zelensky, who's Dan Aykroyd's character, and Tommy's trying to save his dad's company.
Right. Yeah. Right before Big Tom dies, he's opened a brake pad wing of their company, Callahan Auto, and he's even arguing with the bank about getting the money he needs to sell these brake pads and get the manufacturing going when he dies. And basically they're going to lose the company, and if the company goes under, the factory closes, the town dies, and everybody that Tommy and Richard and everybody has known their whole lives crumble. This is one of those towns in America where when industry leaves, this town is gone. Like, people are going to move to find work, and it won't ever be the same. Because he's, like you were saying, when they're driving in the beginning from the airport to Callahan Autos to see his dad, they're talking about how the tire plant is gone, this factory is gone,
muffler plant's
the
gone.
muffler plant's gone. Yeah, everything's gone, and the only thing left in this town is Callahan Auto, and it's the only thing keeping the town going. So it becomes Tommy and Richard have to go out onto the road. Tommy puts up all of his inheritance as collateral to the bank to try and give them a chance to sell 500,000 brake pads. And if they can hit 500,000, it'll be enough of an order that the factory can, the brake pad division will take off, and they'll have a chance to save the company.
From the
right.
debt.
And the Bo Derek, who was so funny in this movie and still looks so good at her age, spoofing herself coming out of the water and doing her famous scene where she's pulling her hair back. And
okay, so that was a reference to is that a James Bond thing? What was that for?
Maybe, I'm not sure where that was famous from, but that's definitely a famous Bo Derek thing. And Rob Lowe, who plays her son but is actually her husband, that you find out later in the movie, he actually was not credited in this movie because he was already under contract to do a miniseries on ABC with Stephen King. So, and he was a big star at this point and was not credited, even though he appears in so much of this movie. And he kind of did it as a favor to Farley for their friendship.
I was just looking at the database, and Rob Lowe is not mentioned, and I was like, dude, where? Yeah. I know he's in this film. I just watched this film, but he's not
credited for this movie.
Credited in this movie.
Yeah, because of this contract dispute.
Oh, okay. Tell us,
where he's he was supposed to do a miniseries with Stephen King at the same time, so he couldn't do, but he went and did it anyway. And they just, the way they worked around it was he could never be credited for the movie. But dude, there's a funny story behind this, because Spade talked about in an interview and in his autobiography where Chris liked the Bad Boys. So when Christian Slater came on to SNL back in the day, Chris Farley started slicking his hair back like Christian Slater had his hair slicked back. He kind of liked the super famous, kind of bad, not necessarily bad boys, but the kind of edgier stars. And Rob Lowe was a guy that he really liked. And one of the times that they flew into Toronto, him and Spade, because I told you they were flying back and forth on this little puddle jumper private jet. And Spade was talking about, he's like, this isn't like we were like rappers on this like G5, really nice. We were packed in there like sardines flying back and forth. And we were just so tired and so pissed off all the time, just sitting there staring at each other. And they land, and Chris wasn't feeling too good, so he's like, I'm gonna go to my room. Well, Spade called Rob Lowe and went out for a beer, and Chris found out, and he was super jealous, and they got in a fight, a physical fight on the set, because he was jealous that he went out with Rob Lowe and didn't tell him. So it's like they're true brothers. Like, if me and Trey, like, y'all you wouldn't hung out, you didn't call me up, like, well, now I'm gonna smack you in the face.
No,
like, we're gonna have to go. Nope. Yeah, apparently he stepped on his hand and then ended up pushing him down a small flight of stairs.
Like, God.
Yeah, like they were wrestling, and then he tackled like the director's assistant, Sparky or Spunky, or I can't remember It's one of those. It's something similar to Sparky or Spunky was the guy's like nickname, and he ended up tackling him. And I think from what it sounds like and what Spade made it sound like was they were just so exhausted that he was so irritated and so pissed off that it just boiled over into this like kind of bitch fight between the two of them.
But not lasting hatred not to film this movie and then the Black Sheep sequel.
They didn't want to. He didn't want to keep filming with him after that, and they ended up talking and apologizing to each other. Yeah, but man, I thought that was very funny.
Why Beverly like a cartoon villain? Like like me, see, I'll get your company and I get auto parts. Like what the balls was your goal here, lady?
It's the cope and swindle there, son. You're gonna, do the old bait and switcheroo. I mean,
that was their plan. Their plan originally was for her to stay married to him until he died,
and then just get the company.
Basically, just and then you get the company, you sell the company off, and then you have all this money. But he died on their wedding day, and
like,
hey, yay! And they're super excited because Tommy's such an idiot that the company's gonna go under. He's not gonna be able to save it.
Yeah. Well, the stupid thing that the couple things that I thought was like, wow, that's a little weird was when Tommy showed that. So Big Tom is showing Tommy Boy around the company. He's like, quit covering your damn eyes. I didn't tell you to cover your eyes. Because Tommy's walking around. He's like, can I open my eyes, Dad? Idiot. And he's like, he's just like, damn it, son. I told you to stop covering your eye. I never told you to do that. But they get home, and I just found out. So Bo Derek is replicating her famous scene from 10, the movie 10 from 1979. And she's coming out of the water, and Big Tom is like, hey, take a look at this. And he opens his eyes and he's like, holy snake, is that for me? And Big Tom's like, no, that's for me. What kind of relationship is it that Tommy like expects? Like, holy Dad, thanks for the prostitute again? Like what?
Oh, remember, this guy's like whipping bong rips and falling through tables at his frat house, dude. This guy.
Well, when you look at Big Tom's reaction to that question, they did not have that kind of relationship because he says, "Is that for me?" And Tom looks at him like, "What are you talking about?" And then he says, "No, son, that's for me." Like, what? You're an idiot. But we skipped over one of my favorite parts of one of my favorite parts of the whole movie when he's showing him through, and he talks to his buddy that he knows from high school, and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing in here?" And he goes, "Oh man, I was going crazy out on the loading docks. Your dad moved me in here. Now I buffed these brake pads or whatever. I buffed these cowlings, and you want to try one? Sure." He puts it on there, and it's like it shoots off, like breaks through a window. And then the best part to me is when he's they're like, "Oh, watch out," and the big hooks are going by.
Oh yeah.
And he starts like like fighting with them, and like they're going by him, and he's like dodging them. Yeah, and it hits him in the back of the head. And he's like, "Oh, hold it." Then they're like, "Tommy, are you okay?" "Oh yeah, I was just checking the specs on the rotary girder." I'm retarded. Like, what the hell? It's so funny. He's so funny.
His whole time, going through that, like, I loved it though because everyone was just like, "Hey, Tommy, you're back," and then there's this one asshole who's just like, "No, I hate this guy. I'm not doing this." And it's JC who works out on the loading docks, and he can't figure out why like shit's taking so long to get around. He just breaks him down. He's like, "Hey, bud, why don't you go back to college and study a globe for another 7 years? Figure out where
he's trying to figure out like where discrepancies are." And he's like, "Yeah, you have it marked down for Columbus. It's a 1-day trip. You got to mark down for 2." And he's like, "Yeah, it's because it's going to Columbus, Georgia, not Columbus, Ohio. You see these little letters next to the city? It's called state." But you go back to college for another 7 years, study a globe. And he's like,
"What else you got for me, Wonder Boy?" That's pretty much it. And
then you find out at the end of the movie why he doesn't like it.
Oh, yes, because he had sex with his daughter, and
he's like, "JC, I lost my virginity to your daughter." And he looks at him like, "What?" And then his little buddy, JC's little buddy, is standing there, and he goes,
"Yeah,
but you were there." And he just kind of like runs away really fast.
Why? Yeah. My God, why was he there?
It's a small town, man. It's like a party or something, and he's like, hitting it off, and they leave together, and you know what's going to happen.
That's true. I am kind of concerned about how small. Yeah. You do get concerned about the small towns, and I've told my my relatives a couple of times. We're like, hey, but just make sure she's not a cousin. Just be her. It's her out there in Kansas. It's a small town place, and just be sure. Just double check the area and the zip code if you can. I would.
Yeah. So after his dad dies, Tommy goes on what was going to be his cross-country trip to try to sell all these brake pads. Tommy's like, well, I'll go. And Richard's like, you're an idiot. And he's like, yeah, but you know this stuff better backwards and forwards. You know it better than anybody. You're coming with me. And then
the way he points at Richard,
his car.
Yes.
They have to take, like, his dad was wealthy. They had to find a car they could take. And nope, Richard, yours.
It's that boardroom scene where we have that moment where the old woman's like, and the town goes under, and that's when the whores come in, and shaking their booties for the men folk. And David Spade's character, it's such a douche, is like, I'm with her idea. Let's do this.
I like her idea.
Yeah. And Tommy's realization of like, I don't know jack shit about any of this, but Richard does, and the way he points at him, and it goes over there, and that's where Richard's nightmare begins completely.
Really
that's every
your
moment
dad could
after
sell a
that.
ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves. A ketchup popsicle, like that was the point that he got stuck on. So then, you have like this. I don't want to call it stereotypical, but you have kind of like the snowball effect where they start and it's just going awful. Like they get mad at each other on the road. Like
he's trying to quiz up about like
he goes to make his first sale and he ends up setting something on fire. This guy is awesome. Yeah. But you have a good line where they're going into the first one and Richard's trying to prep him and he's like, okay, what's number one rule? We don't take no. He's like, we don't take no prisoners. And he's like, no. And he's like, we don't take no shit from anybody. No. He's like, we don't take no for an answer. Right. We don't take no for an answer. No for an answer.
He tries to adjust his tie and he's like, it pulls it right off. And he's like, ha ha, it's a clip on. He's like, ha, you sure? I don't know why that cracks me, but it does. Yeah, you're right. So they kept having like slew and slew of, just moment after moment of like people being like, I don't think so. Okay. No, not from me. Okie dokie then.
Okey-dokey.
Thanks for your time. And every
time
right after,
right after they have the whole thing where they don't take no for an answer. He's just like, all right. Every time they say no, he's just like, okay.
Okie dokie.
And we did talk about before they leave you, they introduce you to the love interest, the girl that that Chris Farley, Tommy Boy went to high school with, who works for the company as well in the filing.
Shipping and receiving, right?
Shipping and receiving. She gets the
Michelle.
orders and everything.
Michelle.
Yeah. And they go out on the lake together, and there's the whole funny scene where there's no wind, and he keeps saying like, "Oh man, this would be so much better if only there was some wind." Yeah. And then the kids are screaming, "Hey Tubbo" and stuff at him from the land, and he stands up, this big fat dude, and screams back at them, and they're just laughing at him. And then Michelle stands up and screams, I know where you live and I've seen where you sleep. Like just the most horrifying stuff. She's like threatening to murder these children. And,
I swear to God, your mothers will cry when they see what I've done to you. And that's the last straw for the little boys to be like, oh shit.
I love when it cuts back and all the kids run away and the one kid runs the wrong direction and then turns and runs back with his friends. It's such a nice touch. Yeah, it's such a nice touch to that scene. But
this boat, by the way, is like an inch above the water when Farley stands out, dude. When Farley stands up and he starts yelling, I was looking at it's just hovering on the surface of that lake, dude.
It's like when Trey and I went out on the skiff and Trey's not used to being out on the boat, and Bridget's there with us, and she's sitting in front, and Trey's on one side, and I'm kind of leaning up and standing on the other side because it's a flats boat, so it's low to the water to begin with. And Trey goes to look at something on the same side of the boat that I'm standing on, and I'm watching the water level, and I'm watching the the gunnel of the boat. It's about to disappear under the, and I grabbed him and I'm like, stay over there. And I said it so mean, but it was because I was freaking out that we were about to sink this boat. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just, you cannot be like, where man. I am. Trey was like, man, I'm like, no, that's my fault for being a dick. It's my fault, but you cannot be where I am. Because if you are, we're going to die.
Got it.
Can't be where I am.
10-4.
Like, imagine there's a pole between us, and we can't. Like we're always just have to move around of each other here. I remember I went with Keith, our old friend. I went on his flatboat. Similar situation. It was like one of the first couple like times out in the ocean, and we're in the flats. It's really shallow. But same thing. I got up and I came to join him on that side of the boat to look over the edge, and he just went, no, and like shoved me to the bow, like to the front of the boat, because it was going to go down. Like, I was like, oh shit, I didn't think about it. You don't know that if you don't know, you don't know.
You don't, when you don't know, you don't know. But we were about an inch, maybe an inch and a half from taking on water. And as soon as that water starts, you're done. You're cooked. Like, you're cooked. But
were you guys in a canal on the way out, or
actually the boat was having some problems?
Were you guys in a canal on the way out, or?
Yeah, we weren't on the way out. We were just over like in the Gables area, like just looking at houses and stuff, because the boat was having issues, so it wouldn't get going.
Good times. Okay.
Yeah, it was fun.
So Michelle is the love interest. She does not use file cabinets, and she has her own system. Problem after problem. I would say if I was running any company, I'd be like, no, we need a system we know that works, and also one that other people can come in and pick up where you left off. Like, let's say like you're sick one day. We need to be able to work your little system here, and like this can't just be like, oh yeah, she's the only one who knows how. No. That's not what quick.
I'm using the Dewey Decibel system. You should know this. We learned it in middle school.
Well, he literally asks her, "Why don't you use the filing cabinets?" And her response
put the files
is
in the
because you
file
have
cabinet.
to open them.
Yeah, I can imagine a pet peeve.
Yeah, she doesn't want to open the file cabinets. If you walk into my office, there's a huge pile of files because I don't want to file stuff. Like, we should have a secretary that files things. Like, I got a job.
At some point, the same process of whatever you're doing, if you just pick those up and threw them in a drawer, it's not going to change anything. Just that you could say, at least they're in the file cabinet. That's where they're
in the drawer.
Like, it's not changing it. They're in the drawer. It's fine. Let's move on with our lives.
Yeah. So then they're moving on, and you get the moment that, like, you get the turning point in the movie where they go to this gas station first, and he's like, fill it up and put oil in it. And he comes back, and he can't reach the gas tank with the hose, so he goes to back the car up and just totally unhinges the door the wrong way, and he's like, and he shuts it real fast, and Richard's like, I thought I told you to fill up the car. He's like, only got diesel. Gotta go to the next
all
station.
that gas. Gotta go to the next one.
And then when he goes to put gas in, he's like, did you change the oil when we stopped? And he's like, if you told me I didn't use the right kind, I used WD-40. And he's like, there's an oil can inside the hood of the car. And he's like, yeah, but you can't latch the hood down if you don't take the oil can out. I swear to God, you're useless. And that's the one that
driving
gets
down
him,
the highway, and the hood flies up.
Yeah.
And that's why, because the oil, he left the oil can in.
He's like, don't call me useless. I'm trying my best.
But there's those scenes, like the boat out on the water with no wind, and the door getting bent around the front ways. Those happened to the writer and his friend who he called in to help him, because when they started filming this movie, they only had 60 pages of the movie. And
wow.
They were
That's
literally there was like nothing. And I think there's only one scene, I can't remember which scene it is, but there's only like one scene that is left from the original script, And the names that they had before Tommy Boy were so stupid. If you go and you like watch some of these YouTube videos where they're talking about the early days of production, I wish I'd written them down. They're so dumb. But uh, when they're driving, I love when they're driving down the highway and they're kind of bickering with each other all the time, and they're listening to the radio and they're changing the radio stations back and forth, and then they land on what is it? Don't you remember you told me you love me?
Oh yeah,
love me, baby.
Yeah, but
he's like, if you are,
he's like, yeah, all right, well, I'm good. And yeah, and then it cuts away, and it comes back, and both of them are singing it full-throated, wholeheartedly,
crying,
and yeah, because sobbing, and they're kind of starting to bond a little bit in these moments. And then they have the whole instance where the hood flies up as they're driving, and they run under the sign, and he says, did you put oil in? He says, I put the right kind of oil. And he says, yeah, but you can't latch the hood if you don't take the can out. And now they're basically fighting on the side of the road. And Richard picks up a 2x4 and hits Tommy in the face. And that's my favorite line. Yeah, it's my favorite line of the whole movie because it knocks him out cold. He goes to the ground, and Richard just goes, ooh, look, prehistoric forest. There's like some weird dinosaur museum thing in the background. But apparently in the filming, when he was hitting him with this board, after a while, like David Spade was saying, I think we ran out of balsa wood or something. But I'm hitting him, and these are like almost real 2x4s, and I'm hitting him with them. And it's like, oh my gosh. And even Chris was like, dude, he goes, I have to, man. It's got to look good. But yeah,
just keep going. I think that you mentioned that first scene. This is one that I live by constantly. When
hey, why don't you pump any gas?
They're all out. They only got diesel. Better go to the next station.
Wipes the car. He's worried about a little
scratch.
This.
What'd you do?
I think I say that probably 3 or 4 times a week when something wrong happens or something breaks. What'd you do? That lives within me, so I had to share it. I had to.
And then you get the scene where they're in the
diner. Thank you, Steve Shorts or Steve Clips.
And this is where like it really starts to turn around. Is you get the scene where they're eating in the diner, and he wants chicken wings, but the waitress doesn't want to give him chicken wings because the fryers are off.
You gotta do the double chinning.
Yeah,
Tommy, you gotta get in there. Tommy want wingy.
And he's basically telling her like, "Wow, those wings would sure hit the spot." And are you sure they're off? And she's like, "Let me go check." Yep, they're off.
Yeah, it doesn't move a muscle.
Yeah. He's like, "What's your name?"
Such a tired waitress response. Like, yeah, jackass, I just told you they're off.
They're off.
And he's like,
they're off.
He's like, "Let me tell you why I suck as a salesman." Grabs like the roll, and he's like, I'm like Jojo the circus boy with a pretty new pet. And I massage it, and then I go, and he starts crying. And he gets the running gag in the movie where she's like, were you raised under power lines as a kid? And he's like, why?
Yeah. People keep asking if he ate paint chips or raised under power lines.
And so she's like, let me go see if I can turn the fryers on and get that for you. And that's when Richard's like, oh crap, he can do this. Like he just pulled the fast one on the waitress. And Richard starts to teach him like there's 2 types of smart: book smart, which waved bye-bye to you a long time ago. And then there's street smart, the ability to read people. Your dad had that. And we get to one of my favorite scenes in the movie where he finally gets his first sale. It's this guy named Ted. And he's walking by and he's like, I don't know, like I do need brake pads, but there's no guarantee. That's like his thing is there's no guarantee on the box. And he's like,
on the box, yeah.
Yeah, but let's think about this. Why would somebody put a guarantee on a box? And he's like, okay, I'm listening. And he's like, so if you want a guarantee, it's just because he wants you to feel all warm and toasty. He's like, yeah, it makes a man feel good. He's like, of course it does. You know, why shouldn't it? Figure the guarantee fairy might come and leave you a quarter. Am I right? And he's like, your point? He's like, point is, how do you know the fairy isn't just some crazy glue sniffer building model airplanes? The little fairy says, well, we're not buying it. It's to your house once. That's all it takes. Next thing you know, your monkey's missing off top. Your money's missing off top dresser, and your daughter's knocked up. Seen it 100 times.
Seen it 100 times.
And he's like, well, why do they put the guarantee on the box? He goes, well, because they know all they've sold you is a guaranteed piece of shit. Hey, you want me to take a dump in a box? Mark a guaranteed? I will. I've got spare time. But
that is the best line.
Yeah,
that is the best line of the whole
scene. For your customer's sake, for your daughter's sake, why not buy a quality product from me? And the guy goes, okay, I'll buy from you. And he starts to say like, well, you know that. And he's like, what?
Yeah. That part cracks me up every time because of the, if you want me to take a shit in a box and mark it guaranteed, I will. I've got spare time. like that line, I've got spare time, catches you, like it catches you so off guard the first time you see it.
Next thing you know, there's money missing up, dresser, and your daughter's knocked up. Seen it 100 times. He like gets sad. He's like,
You had mentioned that scene though, Tyler, of when he hits him in the face with a 2x4. That and prior to when they speak to the waitress, that this scene kills me.
It really hurts.
Nope, nothing. I thought I hit you on the shoulder.
My shoulder doesn't hurt very much, but my face does. Right here. Not here so much, but right here.
Nope. Ship shape. Wait.
That's it.
No, the best part's coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You gotta play
Did
it.
I get that shrimp I saw in the glass?
Yep. And you, what can I get? Jesus, what happened to your face?
I knew it. He like hits the table. He's like, son of a bitch.
I knew it.
See, Richard.
He's not even pissed anymore that it's like it's purple on the side of his face, ladies and gentlemen. Come watch our YouTube channel.
No, but that's probably one of my.
You can also watch this movie
for
free on Pluto.
Pluto is the jam for this one. Yeah, that's an easy catch. Yeah.
Oh man,
So,
like where he gets his first sale. I freaking love that part. Dude.
Your daughter's knocked up. I've seen it 100 times. You know, it's just like, why don't you buy a quality product from me? All right.
Yeah, and then they start to roll, and they start selling.
Yeah.
and they're sending the stuff back to Michelle in the office, and she's telling them like, hey, keep it up. Like, you know, if you keep up this pace, you only need this many more and this many more and this many more. And they're driving down the roads singing Heirs to
I see Heirs to.
And the one where he's like, your dad never did 300 in Showboy. Yeah, he did. No, not while I've been here. Where she's like encouraging him.
Yeah, and he's kind of finding his own in the sales aspect of things. And is this where they hit the deer?
Well, they hit the deer pretty early on. I think it was.
It's when everything's going wrong.
Yeah.
No, because the car's not completely destroyed when things start to go right, because they're only missing the hood at that point. And then they're driving and they hit the deer. Right. And then, so they basically...
Yeah, and they're all like broken up about it. They're like, we can't just leave it here. Why can't you just leave it here? It's a deer. Let's leave the deer.
What do you want me?
Dude.
He's like, screw you, Tommy. I didn't do it on purpose. Like, they're like little kids arguing with each other.
Start crying through it.
And then they're freaking driving through, and the deer wakes up in the back of the car, and just like its antlers rip through the soft top, and he kicks the windows out and all this stuff. And the deer finally leaves the car, and it's just a wreck. Like, he's destroyed a headlight, and he's like, I've seen a lot of things in my day, but that was awesome. Sorry about your car, man.
This is perfect. Just his whole reaction.
Did much better. Thought you were so cool. Watch and learn, he says. Well, I was watching. You know what I saw? It's a lie! I think you tried to bite me! Oh, man!
I love the like snapping heads.
That shot.
And then
that's the one that took him like 6 weeks to get.
No way that.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah.
My car is completely destroyed.
This is what you were saying, Trey.
I swear I've seen a lot of stuff in my life, but that was awesome. But sorry about your car, man.
So funny.
Thank you, movieclips.com for that. Oh my
Sorry
God,
about
dude.
your car.
There's some parts of that where it's like, okay, that's an animatronic deer, and then there's some of it where it's like, dude, is that a real deer? Did they just shove a deer
And no CGI.
like tranquilize a
It's not
deer?
like a CGI car and a CGI deer. They actually had to fuck up a car.
The funny part
It's
is
like-
that none of that is a deer. It's a dude with a deer head, and like them and guys with like deer legs, like poking and breaking and jamming the deer head up and ripping it back and doing other stuff. Like it's all practical effects. Like the only real deer I think is when it's standing on top of the car.
And then jumps and runs off into the forest.
Yeah.
Nowhere. I did notice when they go for two things I did notice after seeing this movie for 30 years, is the scene where they go cow tipping with Rob Lowe, because Rob's like, is there anything we can do? He's like, sure, like we go to the auction house, skin the 4-H babes, do this, throw stuff off a bridge, whatever you want. And Rob Lowe's like, can we go do something, I don't know, a little more dangerous? He's like, sure, bro, whatever you want. And they go cow tipping, which I found out is not actually a thing. But if you watch that scene really closely, like one cow is real. The other cows are like just obviously the same plastic or ceramic cow just put out there in the distance, and they're not moving at all. Maybe like 2 cows are real. And then the herding scene, all the cows are different. They're no longer the same cows. Like when they push in the owner comes out and fires a shotgun, they all run. And they're covered in mud, and it's not mud. And, hey, Chucko, doesn't smell like mud. So go back and watch that scene. I found out.
I'm a maniac, maniac. And he sprays it in the mouth.
Yeah.
But
at this point, they're rolling, and Rob Lowe sabotages them by like screwing up like the orders, and he's basically just like sending stuff everywhere. And they're like, then Tommy, of course, blames Michelle. He's like, if you just put the files in the file cabinet. And then she's like, well, you don't have to worry about it because I'm done. And she quits. Yeah. And he's like all depressed.
Well,
and
before they go back there, they're at the, we missed the whole hotel scene where they're at the hotel.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Tommy goes to see if he can get some food. And Richard's watching him out the window. And there's the beautiful woman in the pool. And he goes, don't ask her where the gym is. Don't ask her where the gym is. And he's like, do you know where the gym is?
Where the weight room is? Yeah. I'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out. Well, then Richard he's flipping. He sees a skin flick, and he decides to have a little fun. And Tommy comes back to the room.
Speaking of no one watching.
And he's like, what are you doing there, Richard? And he's like, nothing. I was just going over some of the papers. He's in my briefcase. He's like, but your briefcase is over there. Oh, look at that woman down there. Do you think she dates one of the Yankees? Are you a fan of the Little Rascals? Who's your favorite Little Rascal? Yeah. Is it Alfalfa? Or is it Spanky? Like just making fun of him so hard. But then they got the scene where he puts on Richard's jacket and he's like, fat guy in a little coat. So apparently that is something that Chris Farley would do all the time on the SNL set with Adam Sandler's coat.
Yes, yeah.
And they basically between takes, Chris Farley was bored and he put on Richard's jacket and he was just like, fat guy in a little coat, and then they decided in post-production, the editor saw him doing it and was like, yo, we should bring him back in for like reshoots and do this. And so that's like one of the most famous scenes is him doing that, and then ripping the coat. We have a video, I have it on my phone, when me and Trey one time were out at Macy's shopping, and we found this like sequin dress coat, and I put it on, and I swear I looked like Chris Farley, but it was sequin, and I'm like, that guy look up, that guy look up. It looks ridiculous.
But, I would love to have that for the Instagram. I'd love to get
I'll have to find it. But then there's like the whole thing where Tommy's sleeping and Richard comes to the room, and he's like, knock, 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 housekeeping. And he's like, no housekeeping, sleeping. And he's like, housekeeping, you a pillow? And he's like, no housekeeping, sleeping. And he's like, housekeeping, you a towel? No towel, sleeping. And he's like, housekeeping, you want me to jerk you off? And he's like, what the hell kind of hotel is this? And he opens the door, and he's wearing like the little tiny whiteies. That was so ridiculous.
Yeah. He's wearing like Ninja Turtle underwear, dude. Yeah. It's like Ninja Turtle underwear. That's what it looks like to me. I just saw this today, and I was like, "What is on his ass there?" But it's tiny, and he's like, "Richard, I'm so happy." And he drops down. Yikes! Welcome back to Richard's nightmare.
When they're going home, because like they've met their quota, but everything gets screwed up, and then people are calling and canceling orders because they didn't get them on time, and so Tommy's like, they're driving and they're drunk. Well, Richard's drunk.
Well,
Tommy's driving the car.
Richard's drinking. And he's like, Richard, you can't drink in a car. You know that.
And then he's like, fish and barrel, Tommy. Towns of fish, people barrel. Fish and barrel.
Fish and barrel. And then
so
he spills the beer
on the side of the road. Oh yeah, well, this is even before. Is it before or after that where he's puking and he's like, that's the answer. And David Spade is like, I don't think so. I don't remember either that. It doesn't look like the answer. And he's staring at a Zelensky's Auto Parts.
No, yeah, that's
billboard.
Later.
Yeah, with Dan
that's after the scene.
So he basically spills beer in the car, and it makes Farley swerve, and the cops come out behind him, and he's like, Richard, they're never going to believe I wasn't drinking. The whole car smells like booze. And then he goes, wait, I got an idea. And he jerks the wheel and takes off into a cornfield, basically. And the cops are chasing him. And he goes, when I stop the car, just get out screaming. And so they get out and they're screaming. And Tommy starts yelling, bees, bees. And both cops are like, I'm allergic to bees.
They're ripping my flesh off.
And he's like, so am I. And he goes, don't worry. We'll come back and check on you. They just drive off and leave him there. And he says, my dad taught me that.
Your bullets are useless against them. I do wonder to our friend, and I want to message our friend in law enforcement and be like, hey, if the Tommy Boy scenario like that happened, what's your go-to? What are you doing? Are you hanging around, or are you leaving?
He's like, I have this bee spray. Gotcha.
Yeah.
They would just wait.
I'm sure he'd be like,
call back
just gotta center my energy, and the bees don't care. I'm gonna wander into there. I'm gonna get them because these bees
speak their language.
Gotta find it because bees respond. Yeah.
We got to get him back on here. He said that since we do remote, he'd be down. So we got to talk to him, get him on for. I
would love to have him on.
We'll do like Hot Fuzz or Super Troopers.
Yeah, I'd be like, do you like jazz? Sorry, that's a B movie reference. Do you like jazz?
But anyway,
that's when
Tommy's like, we'll go.
Richard pukes on a pile of ants, and he's like, "Oh man, look, they're so pissed. Oh, I don't remember eating that." And he looks up at the Zelensky billboard.
Tommy basically,
Zelensky's played by Dan Aykroyd, and his whole spiel is that he makes car parts for the American working man because that's who I am and that's who I care about. But he's very, very showy and very, he's big time in the world of auto parts. It's like AutoZone.
Big guy.
Yeah, it's like the AutoZone or the O'Reillys of the auto parts world.
He's the auto parts king.
Yeah. So he says, like, that's it. We'll go to Chicago. We'll talk to Zelensky. He's a good guy. He seems like a good guy in his commercials. Maybe he'll understand. So they go to Chicago. They work their way all to Chicago to get face to face with Zelensky to try and save Calhan Auto. And that when they're in the plane, that's the scene that I couldn't remember. That the only scene from the original script that made it was Tommy changing in the bathroom. That was the only thing. Other than that, everything was rewritten and redone. So it's pretty cool that this movie came out of such
a good line with
dysfunction.
They sneak onto the plane
by
pretending to be flight attendants, and he's like, hey, "We can't do this." He's like, "Why not? You get on the horn. I'll throw some peanuts at him. We'll be in Chicago before you know it." And they do the whole like pre-flight safety thing, where he's like, "Okay, seatbelts. These we're gonna need. Take the little end, put it in the big end. Actually, if you don't know how to use a seatbelt, ring the call bell. Tommy will come hit you in the head with a tack hammer because you're an idiot.
Because you're retarded.
You are a moron."
And then he's like, life vest. We probably don't need these. My guess, if we hit anything, it's gonna be a mountain. So, but he uses the child one by accident. He's like, pull down on the tabs. And he pulls it, and inflates, and he's like, and he can't breathe. And he grabs a pen out of this old lady's pocket and pops it.
He pops a dumb animal, isn't he, folks?
Yes, the best way. He like hands it back to her, like, thank you. Like, here you go. Like, it's just presented like, here you are.
So
like,
gentle.
But yeah, I had to pull up the bathroom scene of him. Yeah. I had to pull up the bathroom scene of him getting changed in there because, like you said, Farley was anything. It was to physical comedy being a bull in a china shop. So, I mean, here goes. Such good music too. I love this for all our audio listeners.
Yeah.
It's just him screaming and getting in a fetal position.
Your seatbelt.
I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm fine now.
I'm fine now.
Farley's not really even that big, dude. That like he's not even like that seriously big that like a bathroom lavatory like that would be a problem. But it's great how he plays it out that like, no, this is an issue for me.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna get changed.
It's so funny how he ends up in a ball on the floor. Like, so crazy.
I know at my best flexibility, I would never be able to get in that position. I'd be like, we're just done. We're done for the day. This is where I live now.
For the Grippers picture.
I can't get my foot up for our gripper shot. For anyone not knowing what our gripper shot is, feet is what we're referring to as grippers. Every time we do an episode, we shoot our feet with a photo and we post it to our Instagram.
It's tradition.
It
goes out to a friend of mine.
It's tradition.
Yeah. It's a tradition.
And there's a website you can go and you can buy prints if you want. All that goes to children with needs.
I got lots of pictures.
But like to wrap up the movie, they get there and they get up to where they're about to sign over the company, and of course they figure out that Rob Lowe and it's not his mom. They're actually married, and it's like a big scam.
Michelle went to the airport to leave when after Tommy pissed her off, and while she was at the airport, she saw Tommy's stepmom and Rob Lowe kissing with tongue. And she called her brother she called her brother who works for the police, and he did some research into them and realized that they were scammers, and they had scammed Big Tom, and they were actually married. And when Tommy and them lost those sales and lost the basically he lost his shares of the company, and then the stepmother had her shares, and she was going to sell to Zelensky, culminating in their big scheme to sell the company and make all the money. And Tommy and Richard are there trying to stop the sale or figure out a way to talk to Zelensky. And Zelensky basically tells them, I'm a businessman and I'm buying up companies all over the place because I want your name. I don't care about your product. Like people trust the name Callahan, so I want to own the name so people will buy from me.
Yeah.
And I don't need your factory. I just make them in my own plants. And so Tommy devises a little scheme to tape a bunch of road flares to his chest and takes Richard's watch and makes it look like a bomb. And they get a camera crew and they get in there and they get a face-to-face with Zelensky. And he basically gets him to sign, because he's on camera and he's being threatened with a bomb, to buy 500,000 brake pads. And the funniest part of this scene is when it's being aired on TV and it's cutting to the different people that are watching the news, and there's like the guys at the plant and like, hey, is that Tommy? Oh my God, look, it's Tommy. Oh, and then like one guy's like, he looks really fat, and he's like, yeah, the camera adds a couple 100 pounds, but then yeah, and it cuts over to the first guy who is it the first guy who bought from them, where he's like stealing your money off
the guy he does the guarantee speech to.
Yes. That's what I thought. It's like the old guy, and he's there with his wife, and she goes, oh, look at this human bomb on the news. And the guy wakes up and he goes, oh yeah, I buy brake pads off him. And without missing a beat, he goes, oh yeah, I buy brake pads off him. Weren't we watching cartoons? And then switches it, you hear like switches it right back to Looney Tunes. It's like, what the hell is happening right now? But it cuts back, and she's like, oh, so is that why you strapped the bomb to your chest? To save, seriously, to save the, to try and get this done. And he goes, oh, this is just road flares, and he rips them off. And I think Zelensky says, did you live under power lines when you were a kid? And he's like, why?
That's it, yes.
But then the camera goes off and they leave, and he says, like, it doesn't matter because the company's going to be mine in a minute anyway. So I basically just bought 500,000 brake pads from myself. And that's when they break the news to him that because they were married, the stepmom and Rob Lowe, his quote unquote brother, the marriage to Big Tom Callahan was never legitimate, so they don't own any shares of the company. And he basically just saved the company by selling the 500,000 brake pads. And Zelensky's like, you pulled a fast one on me, kid. Savor it because it won't happen again. And I thought something that was super cool.
Give it a flavor because it's not going to happen again.
I thought something that was super cool for anybody who's a fan of 50 First Dates. I think 50 First Dates is like such a great movie. But there's a shout out to Tommy Boy in 50 First Dates when they go to the memory clinic and Dan Aykroyd is the doctor, but the memory clinic is sponsored by what is it? TC or
Callahan?
TM Callahan Auto or something like that. It's sponsored by Callahan Auto from Tommy Boy, and it's like a way that Sandler shouted out his friend Chris Farley because they were super close. And he's still like he made the great song not too long ago about Chris Farley and everything. But then there's the whole funny scene where Michelle basically breaks down all of the crimes that these two have committed. And for some reason, Bo Derek just gets to walk away and like nothing happens to her. Yeah. And she flies out, she like leaves with Zelensky. But Rob Lowe tries to run and ends up on the hood of the crash test dummy car. And he's gonna crash into the wall, and they slam the brakes, and he gets thrown into the seat testing machine and gets this heavy weight dropped on his testicles. And then Zelensky says, have a bottle of bubbly sent over to him from me. Have the note say, sorry about your marbles put them on ice. Love Z or from Z or something like
Get
that.
drunk
It's
on
so
me.
funny.
Use the ice.
Yeah, get drunk on. Yeah, that's right. But he ends up saving the company that way, and then you get him and Michelle are good again, and then you get the whole scene with him out on the boat at the end. That's so heartwarming, where he's talking to his dad, and he's basically just saying like, I don't know what I'm doing out here. I miss you, and I'm doing my best, trying to do what I think you would do. And then he's like, but I could really use some wind. If you could hear me, I could really use some wind. And then the wind picks up, and it's this heartwarming moment of like his dad is still with him, even though he's gone. And it's a really, really great movie. It was done for I think $20 million. They only made like $35 million in the box office, so it wasn't a flop, but it wasn't super financially successful. But as soon as that mother hit VHS, it became an all-time cult classic. It played on TV and cable TV actually more than almost any other movie has ever played, apparently. Like a comedy of that time. It was like constant. The king. Yeah. It was like the king of that. So it ended up making its money back in VHS sales and stuff like that and becoming a huge hit. But it's fantastic.
I have to say the ending is horribly satisfying because it finds such a way to show the well-roundedness of these idiotic characters that now have to go through, the rest of their life. But it's like, okay, here's your journey. It's almost like, honestly, like the Iliad in a way, like this story of growth and change, and the great journey that Tommy had to go on to finally become the adult he needed to be after 7 years of college and an entire life of his dad always taking care of himself. And I think it's a great testament. It has deeper pull than I think most people would give it credit for, because it's it's Chris Farley, it's Tommy Boy. But I think like you said, it has such a great depth to it that I think is missed in the moments when they're quiet and they have those scenes where he's on the boat, or when he's contemplating.
Well, there's even the stuff with Richard
why he is.
There's even the stuff with Richard where like Richard basically says in the beginning of the movie that he doesn't have any friends, and really never has. And through this, Tommy breaks through his shell of sarcasm and cutting remarks that he's used to protect himself from being made fun of and being picked on his whole life.
Yeah.
And they become friends. And Tommy's really his only friend. And they really are friends at the end. But there's the whole weird thing that we didn't really touch on that's not really important, but how Richard's hair is a toupee the whole time. That's just kind of bizarre. Like that just pops up at the end real quick. Yeah. But so then they celebrate that they he saved the company and they can move forward like that, and now Tommy's gonna have to become Big Tom Callahan and stop being Tommy Boy.
Big Tom.
But it's a wonderful movie. Super fun, super funny. Quintessential Chris Farley and oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. Richard. David Spade. Wow, that's bad.
David Spade.
I'm getting old, folks. See all his gray hair? But yeah, it's awesome. It's super funny. It's such a great movie. Go ahead and check it out. It's free on Pluto TV, like we said. You can just like Google where can I stream Tommy Boy, and it'll come up. You click on it, they'll take you right there. It's got commercials, but they're not too bad. But would definitely suggest this movie to anybody if they want a good laugh. It's really good. It's really funny. But please check us out on YouTube. Give us a like, a follow, ring that notification bell. YouTube, you get to see all the clips that we post. You get to see our goofy faces, and maybe you get to see the grippers one day if you tune in right. But we really appreciate you guys listening, following. Check us out on Instagram, nostalgialand.podcast. Give us a follow. Share us with your friends, your family, your enemies. Everybody. Just spam people with our garbage. But please comment.
Please.
We want to give you stuff that you want to hear about as much as we want to do stuff that we like. We got, there's tons and tons of movies and shows and stuff out there. Shows we will take more time, as we've discussed in the past, but we're totally down to do them. We've done like Legends of the Hidden Temple and different shows, Magic School Bus, in the past that were a lot of fun, but they take more time because we like to watch, as much as we can before we put an episode together. But yeah, shoot us a message. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, and we'll try to give you more of one or the other. Until next time.
I'm Matt.
I'm Trey.
And I'm Tyler. Cowbunga. I guess that bump's not going to play.